I learned when I let my 7-year-old daughter plan our family vacation. So spring break was upon us, and we knew we needed some quality family time. So we decided just to go to the beach house, relax, just have some great time with family. As the time drew closer, I had all these visions of what it was going to look like to relax on the beach. You know, we all have this picture in our mind. This picture of just laying there, reading, relaxing, enjoying the sun. But as the time drew closer, I realized my vacation was going to be a little bit different. I have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old, so my vacation was going to look a lot less like this and a lot more like this. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my kids, and they usually get along great. But this was going to be a beach vacation, not the warmest of weather, and I really didn't want to hear, I'm bored, we have nothing to do. I just didn't want to hear all those complaints. I just really wanted to have a good time. So my husband and I talked it out, and we decided one way to do this was to allow our 7-year-old daughter to have some voice and some choice in our planning. We let her plan our family vacation. So on the way to the beach house, there's a park that we pass every year on the side of the road. And we honestly just drive past it because we want to get to the beach house faster. But Emma wanted to stop, and we couldn't argue, right? It was her trip. She was planning the trip. So we pull over to the side of the road, and it turns out that Emma was absolutely right. This park was amazing. There wasn't just one playground. There were actually 3 playgrounds. 3 fun playgrounds. There was also a beach with sand where Emma collected river rocks. We also saw a visitor center, so why not check it out? We go inside and we start talking to the women at the visitor center, and it turns out that this is the hometown of Harriet Tubman. She goes on to explain the Underground Railroad to my daughter, and my daughter now has a newfound interest. She gave us a map and some points in the county that we needed to go see to learn more about the Underground Railroad. And before we left, she noticed that my husband had a camera around his neck. She figured out he was an avid photographer, and also shared that just a few more miles down the road, there was a wildlife refuge that was infamous for having bald eagles. Our little stop on the side of the road turned into a 4.5-hour detour. It was absolutely the best way to start off our trip. I could go on and on with all of the really cool ideas and all the really fun things that happened. It all happened because we gave Emma choice and voice. So you're probably asking yourself, what does this have to do with educational leadership? And the answer is simple. Everything. When people have their voice heard and they get to make choices, they have ownership of the process. They get motivated and empowered. And when you're passionate about something, that's when there's a real spark, a desire to learn. As leaders, we need to provide opportunities for our teachers to have choice and voice in their own learning. And that leads to professional development. When teachers enter a PD day, they all have one question burning in their mind. You guys know what that one question is? You're right. What time is lunch? Right? What time's lunch? That's the mentality. My challenge to you is, how are you going to change it? I want you to think back to the last few professional development days that you attended. How did you evaluate the professional development at the end of the day? Unfortunately, and far too often, there's grumblings about it being boring, not relevant, or just the same old information, a one-size-fits-all approach. How would those answers change if you were actually given choice in what you learned? If you got to sign up for sessions that were relevant to you, things that you actually cared about, do you think you'd actually learn more? Even better, what if you were given voice in the decision-making process? What if you were given surveys and different evaluations to find out what you wanted to learn about? Would PD be better if you actually got to choose what topics you wanted covered? We encourage choice and voice in our classrooms. Why don't we expect it in our professional development? When teachers have a voice and get to make a choice on what they're learning, they're doing more than just choosing a topic. They're becoming empowered to learn more. We also have to provide teachers with an opportunity to have choice on what PD they attend. We need to stop with the one-size-fits-all approach and differentiate our professional development to make it relevant for all teachers. Along with differentiation of content, We need to stop with the passive learning and ensure that our PD is engaging. One of my favorite books is Teach Like a Pirate. Dave Burgess has a quote in his book that says, if the students didn't have to be in your room, would you be teaching to an empty classroom? So I ask the same question of you about professional development. If the teachers didn't need to be there, would you be teaching to an empty room? We need to get away from sit and get and create engaging professional development that we could sell tickets to. So this past year, I tried Unconference for the first time. To be perfectly honest, I was panicked. To have a PD day where you prepare nothing totally stressed me out. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Unconference, the teachers come with their ideas, whatever they want to learn about that day. They come, they write them down on a Post-it note, and then the facilitator sorts them and puts them in categories. Once they're sorted, they're assigned a session time, and then those time frames are posted, and the teachers can pick out any session during that time. The teachers then work in a group to facilitate their own learning. They can use any materials, any resources they need, but the greatest resource is each other. Now, our Unconference was a huge success. The teachers felt ownership in it. Whatever they put into it is what they got out of it. They loved the choice, and they loved that their voices were heard. Now, as much as I love Unconference, I'll do it again. But it can't be something we do again and again and again, or it will lose its value, it will lose its meaning. So what are some other great ideas you could use? So this past year, we also tried tryouts. And tryouts are just little sessions where there's an overarching theme, and the teachers get to pick which sessions they sign up for. They can come to 1, 2, or all 3. They come into the room, they learn about a strategy or a skill, and their job is to go try it throughout the week. After the week, they come back, and they facilitate their own learning with each other. What did they like about it? What didn't they like? What changes or tweaks need to be made to make it stronger in their classroom? This process continues. In our district, we do it for a whole trimester. Again, the teachers love it. They have ownership. Their voices are heard, and they have choice. Some other quick ideas. How about Genius Hours for teachers? We do them for students. Why don't we do them for teachers and let them explore their interests and learn something new? Or peer coaching. Have the teachers watch each other provide feedback. Even videotape themselves. Sit down, watch the video together, analyze it, and have those discussions. How about some power sessions where teachers are experts in certain areas and they say, this is what I'm passionate about, this is what I can teach you. And then they hold 20 to 30 minute power sessions where the other teachers can choose what sessions they want to attend. Or one of my favorite, how about #ObserveMe? This is where teachers put a sign outside their door, #ObserveMe. They list the time they want to be observed, what subject they want observed in, and they can even say they want observed in a specific skill or strategy. They have a QR code listed. The observer comes, scans the QR code, watches the lesson, provides feedback right to the teacher, and the only people that get to see the feedback are the teacher and the observer. Talk about collaboration. All of these other PD choices give teachers voice in what they want to learn, and it gives them choice to determine their next action steps. So the last day of vacation, my daughter wanted to go to the beach again. And to be honest, we really didn't want to go to the beach again. We didn't want sands in our car. We didn't want the most sandy the whole drive home. But we had to remember she was planning the vacation. So last final hurrah, let's just make it happen. So as Emma's doing cartwheels on the beach and just loving life, something magical happened. Like the coolest thing happened for my daughter. She found a conch shell. Now, Emma's been trying to find a conch shell every year we go to the beach. Like, this is a major thing. And she found it. So, again, might not seem like a big deal to you, but it was her goal for years. She did it. We gave her choice and voice, and she found the perfect little conch shell. And our vacation ended with pure joy and amazement. This trip showed me just how important it is to give choice and ownership that will empower others to follow their passions. I now have this picture on my desk to remind me what I learned when I let my daughter plan our family vacation.